Petrus Petitus de Amazonibus Dissertatio, Episode 3. Ne quis me id nunc agere putet, an falsa illa omnia, quae sunt literarum monumentis de Amazonibus prodita, nullumque omnino eius modi olim fuerit mulierum genus, quod eo nomine diceretur, id enim fieri non posse ex multis intelligi potest. Petitus continues now, and he uses this ne quis. After si, nisi, nec, and ne, instances of aliquis, the indefinite pronoun, are typically spelled simply as quis, and this would include, of course, aliquid and other forms of the same word. So no one should think, ne quis putet, no one should think that I am doing, me agere, I am doing this thing now, and the id refers to what was in the previous portion, namely, praemittere, passing over, leaving out, that I am doing that now, passing over whether on all of those things were false. So he's not going to ignore the question of whether some of them were false and some of them were true. He's going to investigate it thoroughly, leaving out nothing important. I am not overlooking the question of whether all of those things were false, the things which, and now we have this quae clause, which will be modifying illa, those things which prodita sunt, have been handed down in memory by the monumentis literarum, by the particular works of literature on the Amazons. And no one should think that there was nullum genus, that there was no class or race of women, there was none altogether omnino of that type, once upon a time, olim. No class, a class or genus, a race, which was recorded or discussed under that title. So Petitus says no one should draw either of those conclusions, that he is passing over praemittere, that's what id stands for, the question of whether all of those things were false, then quae through prodita, and no one should think that there was nullum genus at any time altogether of that sort, no class of women, mulierum genus, or no race of women. And this is pretty much the definition of the Amazons, which he is going to develop later on in the work. It's a mulierum genus, that, and the modifier with genus is this quod clause, which was called or described by that title, namely Amazons. For, he says, enim, that this thing could not be non posse fieri, and fieri is a present passive infinitive from the irregular verb fio. It's used as the passive form of facio, to become or to be, instead of facio, to make or to do. For that this is not at all possible, intelligi potest, is understood ex multis, from many different sources or by many different arguments. Intelligi is a present passive infinitive of the third conjugation verb, and it's being used here with potest, and the subject of potest is this id clause. So the impossibility of that race not existing, that can be understood ex multis. Ex, like its Greek cousin ek or ex, can often mean as a consequence of, and that's what it means here. And I think that perhaps the multis refers back to monumentis, or perhaps it means ex multis hominibus. Either of those is a possibility.